A toxic alliance, Trump and Vance. The political marriage of Donald Trump and JD Vance was always an unlikely one. Trump, the brash billionaire, and Vance, the Yale-educated author, seemed like an odd couple. Yet, their shared brand of populism, fueled by anger toward the establishment, brought them together. Their alliance, however, would prove to be a toxic cocktail, marked by ambition, betrayal, and political maneuvering. Vance, propelled to fame by his best-selling book, Hillbilly Elegy, became a voice for the forgotten white working class. Trump, sensing an opportunity to tap into this demographic, saw Vance as a valuable asset. He endorsed Vance's Senate run, lending his considerable political capital to the young politician. But beneath the surface of this alliance, cracks were already beginning to show. Vance, despite his populist rhetoric, harbored reservations about Trump's character and fitness for office. Trump, ever the transactional leader, saw Vance's loyalty as fleeting, a means to an end. This uneasy partnership would have far-reaching consequences not just for their own political futures, but for the future of the Republican Party and the country as a whole. The stage was set for a political drama of Shakespearean proportions, with each move scrutinized by the public and the media. As the alliance progressed, both men found themselves navigating a minefield of political challenges and personal conflicts. Their relationship, fraught with tension and mutual suspicion, became a focal point in the political landscape. Ultimately, the alliance between Trump and Vance would be a testament to the complexities and contradictions of modern American politics. Chaos reigns internal conflicts in the Trump administration. The Trump administration was a whirlwind of chaos and infighting from the start. Leaked memos, backstabbing aides, and constant Twitter storms became the norm. Amidst this maelstrom, JD Vance found himself navigating a treacherous political landscape. Trump's inner circle was a revolving door of advisors, each vying for the president's ear. Loyalties shifted like sand dunes in the desert. Vance, a relative newcomer to Washington, was ill-equipped to handle the cutthroat nature of Trump's inner circle. One particularly damaging episode involved a leaked memo, allegedly from Vance's office, that criticized Trump's handling of a trade deal. Though Vance denied writing the memo, the damage was done. Trump, never one to forget a slight, felt betrayed. These internal conflicts had a profound impact on Vance's role in the administration. He was increasingly sidelined, his advice ignored. Trump, once an ally, now viewed him with suspicion. A study in contradictions, Vance's conservative populism. JD Vance's political ideology is a study in contradictions, blending elements that seem at odds with each other. He is a self-described conservative who champions traditional values and limited government, advocating for a return to what he sees as America's foundational principles. Yet, he also espouses populist rhetoric, railing against the elites, and promising to fight for the forgotten man, the everyday American who feels left behind. Vance's conservatism is deeply rooted in his upbringing in the Rust Belt, a region ravaged by economic decline and social decay over the past few decades. He witnessed firsthand the devastating effects of globalization and the opioid epidemic, which have torn apart communities and families. These experiences shaped his belief in the importance of strong families, faith, and community, which he sees as the bedrock of a healthy society. However, Vance's populism sets him apart from traditional conservatives, making his approach unique and sometimes controversial. He is deeply critical of free trade agreements, which he blames for hollowing out American manufacturing and causing widespread job losses. He is also skeptical of big business and Wall Street, arguing that they have rigged the system against the working class, prioritizing profits over people. These populist impulses brought him into alignment with Donald Trump, who had successfully tapped into the anger and frustration of white working-class voters, promising to drain the swamp. But Vance's brand of populism is not without its critics, who question the sincerity and effectiveness of his approach. Some argue that it is simply a more palatable form of Trumpism, trading in the same kind of divisive rhetoric and scapegoating, while others see it as a necessary evolution of conservative thought. Section 4. Past Ghosts. Vance's criticism of Trump. JD Vance's rise to prominence was inextricably linked to his criticism of Donald Trump. In the early days of Trump's candidacy, Vance was a vocal detractor, calling him reprehensible and a demagogue. He questioned Trump's character, his policies, and his fitness for office. These past criticisms would come back to haunt Vance as he drew closer to Trump. Opponents used his own words against him, painting him as an opportunist who was willing to abandon his principles for political expediency. Vance's attempts to explain away his past criticisms were met with skepticism. He argued that he had come to see Trump as a flawed but ultimately effective leader. He claimed that he was more interested in results than in ideological purity, but the damage was done. The perception that Vance was a political chameleon, willing to change his stripes to suit his ambitions, stuck. It would become a major liability in his future political endeavors. Section 5. The Backstab. Did Trump destroy Vance's future? The relationship between Donald Trump and JD Vance reached a breaking point when Vance refused to fully endorse Trump's claims of a stolen election in 2020. This refusal marked a significant turning point in their political alliance. Vance, while expressing concerns about election integrity, stopped short of embracing Trump's most outlandish claims. He tried to walk a fine line, acknowledging issues without diving into conspiracy theories. This act of perceived disloyalty infuriated Trump, who lashed out at Vance publicly, calling him a phony and a rhino, Republican in name only. Trump's harsh words were a clear signal to his base. Trump's attacks had a devastating impact on Vance's standing within the Republican Party. The once promising politician found himself increasingly isolated. Trump's endorsement, once a golden ticket in Republican politics, became a liability for Vance. The endorsement that had propelled many to success now seemed like a curse. Donors became wary of supporting him. The financial backing that is crucial for any political campaign began to dry up. Voters questioned his conservative credentials. The base that once supported him now viewed him with suspicion. Vance's political future, once bright, now seemed uncertain. The fallout from his clash with Trump cast a long shadow over his career. Whether Trump's actions amounted to a deliberate backstab is a matter of debate. Some see it as a calculated move to eliminate a rival. Some argue that Trump, acting out of anger and a desire for revenge, intentionally sabotaged Vance's career. They believe it was a strategic move to maintain control over the party. Others contend that Trump's actions were more impulsive, driven by his ego and his need to punish those who crossed him. They see it as a reactionary move rather than a premeditated strategy. Section 6. The 2024 election, a battleground shaped by betrayal. The fallout from the Trump-Vance feud continues to cast a long shadow over the 2024 election. Trump, still a powerful force in the Republican Party, is actively seeking to unseat those he perceives as disloyal, including JD Vance. Vance, facing a tough re-election battle, must now navigate a political landscape shaped by Trump's influence. He must find a way to appeal to Trump's base without alienating moderate voters. The 2024 election is shaping up to be a referendum on the future of the Republican Party. Will it remain in thrall to Trump and his brand of grievance politics? Or will it chart a new course, embracing a more inclusive and less divisive message? JD Vance, once seen as a rising star in the party, now finds himself caught in the crossfire. His political fate, and the fate of the Republican Party, may hinge on his ability to navigate the treacherous waters of Trump's legacy.